Formula One teams are at loggerheads over the budget cap. The bigger teams are in favor of a raise to the current $140 million cap because of inflation, which has driven up energy costs, as well as due to logistical costs, which are higher because of increased demand and longer travel routes following Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Do you want to know about it? Well, stay tuned to the video and watch the video till the end. Hello fellow Formula One lovers, welcome to Grand Prix Zone. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the notifications to join us as we deep dive into the Formula One drivers, teams, and cars. Hit the like button to show your support, and in this video, we're going to talk about no race for budget cap. So without any further ado, let's begin. Red Bull Racing in particular has spoken out several times in recent weeks about the consequences of the budget cap due to high inflation and the consequent rising prices. It's becoming increasingly difficult for teams to adhere to the budget cap. While the smaller teams have not yet encountered such problems, the larger teams have been calling for action from the FIA for several weeks. All F1 teams have lost a cap of $140 million for 2022, with a limit intended to improve competition, but a dramatic rise in inflation and freight costs has put teams' budgets under unexpected strains. That has led to Ferrari, Red Bull, and Mercedes, the sport's biggest and currently most competitive teams, all stressing that the budget cap is to be released due to the force majeure circumstances. That being said, Ferrari's Mattia Binotto also had some interesting observations to add on the subject and would say the following. In the regulations, there's a threshold, which is a 5%. If you don't succeed the 5% on top of what's the budget cap threshold, it'll be considered a minor breach. And what's a minor breach in case of force majeure? What will the stewards and the FIA decide on that in terms of penalties? No idea, but I don't think there's any way for us and for many teams simply to stay within and even laying off people. I don't think that's a good and right choice. It shouldn't be forgotten that several teams and their owners committed to a long-term future in Grand Prix racing on the basis that spending would be reined in and it would no longer be a bottomless pit of investment. Instead, F1 would be about efficient spending and making effective use of resources, potentially giving erstwhile midfield teams a chance to take on the traditional frontrunners, Renault's bosses, committed to the Alpine project on that basis, while individual owners like Gene Haas and Finn Rosing of Sauber Alfa Romeo could justify staying involved by knowing that, in theory, they could compete with the big boys. It's thus entirely understandable that those teams are now trying to keep a lid on the current cap and are concerned that any change will be followed by further rises. The two camps have very different takes on the impact of inflation and how it should be viewed, with some saying we knew it was coming and others blaming the unforeseen conflict in Ukraine. According to Marco, however, the FIA is open to talks. There have already been talks about a certain inflation adjustment, first the pandemic, then the war. These are events that were not foreseeable, and these rates of inflation and growth are not normal either. Whether the talks will actually change anything is not yet known. What is clear, however, is that a number of teams are not keen on increasing the budget cap. Various comments were made by team principals through the Monaco event, but one of the most vocal was Christian Horner, who might be wise to remember what he said in 2020. I think you've got to look at what's right for the business, and sometimes self-interest is outweighed by the interest of the sport. And that's the crux. Cost caps are required in F1 to ensure that through good times and lean moments, the sport not only survives but thrives, and we can have a full grid of well-funded, profitable, and attractive teams that represent genuine franchise opportunities. Now that we've come to the end of this video, I want to thank you for sticking with me, and I'd love to know what you think of it. Just comment down below. Also, if you like this video, make sure you like it and stay safe. This video is over, but if you want to see more, there's one on your screen right now, and there are a few more Formula One videos coming soon. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care, stay safe, and be happy, guys.